In this video, I am going to cover advantages and disadvantages of Spring Boot. So let's go through this. So the advantages is like easy development. Second is less configuration, more productivity, actuators, embedded servers, embedded database server. So let me first describe what is easy development means. So the easy development meaning of that is we can easily develop our application through the Spring Boot. Basically, Spring, in case of the to do manually, and along with the configuration part, also we are going to do our actual work, which is business logic. Developer only needs to configure explicitly predefined classes and functionality, as well as the business logic. Everything we need to do as a developer in the Spring framework. Business functionality also, along with that, all the configuration and other stuff we are required to do in case of Spring framework. But coming to the Spring Boot itself will take care for configuration as per our auto configuration feature in Spring Boot. It will take care for your configuration part. So we are just need. Now the coming to the next one. Second is less configuration. Less configuration, what does it mean is we are required to do minimal configuration. Means we are not going to take care for the any configuration file within our Spring Boot application. If you compare with the Spring framework, there were web.xml, servlet, context.xml files, and there is lots of more configuration file. But if we are coming to the Spring Boot, I can say that it is zero number of configuration. There is only one form.xml file. If you are coming to the XML file, there is the only form.xml file, but that is also not the part of Spring Boot application. That is related to the Maven configuration, but not it is actually not belongs to our Spring Boot things. Now let me show you the practical. Less configuration. Why we are saying it as less configuration? Let me open this. So I have taken one example, Spring Hibernate example, and Spring Boot example, which is in Spring Boot. And this is the Spring Framework application, not the Spring Boot application. So if we are taking about through this Spring application, Hibernate application. So here we need to manually write all the data source configuration within the Spring.xml file. And along with this session factory bin definition and the dialect information, whatever the dialect we are going to use, current session and all the details we are going to write here manually, and the bin ID creation, whatever we will have to do that. All configuration part we needs to do manually. And let's see through this Spring Boot example, means Spring Boot application. Let me show you form.xml file. So we have not written any configuration related to our actual work. We have just used this web dependency and parent dependency. Web dependency is for web applications, and here we have used the data GPA annotations. For example, here in this case of a Spring framework, we are using the Hibernate. So here we are writing the configuration for Hibernate. But in case of this Spring Boot applications, we have just used this dependency. Spring Starter Data DPA dependency we have taken. And Spring Boot itself is performing. We do not require to do any work manually. So Now coming to the more productivity, what that means? More productivity means within the less number of time, we can work more with the help of Spring Boot application. For this scenario, like if in case of the second point, if we are not going to do any configuration part, our time will be consumed and we can utilize that time in our actual stuff, like writing the business logic and all the things. Now, next point is actuators. So, what is actuators? Actually, actuators is predefined useful features which is used for every application. Whatever applications you are going to use for every applications, this actuators is. Actuators brings your production ready features to our application, monitoring our application, gathering matrices of our application, like understanding the traffic, what are the state of our database become trivial. Such type of activity can be performed through these actuators. Like there is the more running application is there which will help us to be this actuator like health, matrices, info, DOM, environment, etc. Embedded database server. So basically, if we are working with Spring framework, we need to manually configure one or more server to run our application. But in case of Spring Boot, it has embedded servers like Tomcat, JT, and others, sorry, not lots of servers which we can configure, and we can also configure the any external or third party servers as well. But it has been given the permission or authorizations, we can just directly use our embedded servers. No needs to configure any external servers for our work. Coming to the next point, it is embedded database server. So to check for the database connectivity for Spring Boot, it has provided the most beneficial feature for the embedded S2 database, in-memory database, we can simply say that. While developing our JUnit test cases, writing our JUnit test cases for the development environment, we can work with the S2 database, and for the upcoming environment like production, test, and other environment, we can use the any other database server. See application type of applications, we can use this embedded database server itself. Coming to the disadvantages, yes, there is the some disadvantages. We can say that this is not the actual disadvantages. This is also some we can say that what are the difficulty if you are following the Spring Boot application, what are the difficulty we can face. So first thing is like only for scratch development. Coming to the Spring Boot application, this will be best suitable for the scratch development project, not for the migration project, not for the any enhancement type of project. Because why it has been saying that this is only for the scratch development? If application is there with the Spring based project, so it will be time consuming. If you see the second point, Spring Boot project is very time consuming for migration of Spring Boot Spring to Spring Boot projects. In Spring framework project. So for that, we need to map accordingly, which will be very time consuming process. We can simply say it will be take more time than the development. Like if we are going with the scratch development with the Spring Boot project, it will be lesser time than migrating our existing project into the Spring Boot project. So we can simply say that this is the some uh, suitability, like Spring Boot project is suitable for scratch development, not for the migration project. So this is somehow dependency. So yeah, thanks for your time. Yeah, please subscribe my channel and further connected with me. Thank you.